the back. Place your luggage here, this room.
So my name is Marci, and I came here from Hungary, and I'm really excited to meet new people and make friends. So I expect that I will have a lot of experiences with you, and so I know that we will have fun.
So having said this, I want to briefly tell you in what way we will or will not meet the expectations of those of you who have told us now. I can promise for those who expect to meet new friends, to learn about cultures, to have a lot of fun, I can promise for sure you will get it, okay? But I also want to say that you're going to do hard work in the peace camp, because a peace camp is not a holiday camp. You understand the difference? A holiday camp you go just for fun. A peace camp you go because you have a mission. You are committed to the idea of peace. So all the things that we will be doing here will be one way or another related to the issue of peace. And I invite you to all, please stick to the schedule. You will find these nice, colorful schedules all over the place. So please always look what's going on and try to be on time. And the more you take it seriously, I promise, the more you will take home.
What would happen if, like, your knees were the most important body part there is to your whole body? It's like, I'm doing nothing without my knees. Try to walk some places where you haven't been before. Go with your knees first. I don't see your knees, guys. Don't tell me there's knees.
So now, I would like you to organize each other by height, starting smallest to tallest. Have fun.
No, you're not allowed to sit down. Here's the smallest
Okay, whoa. Stop. Not everybody understood that.
Smallest to tallest.
The smallest, at the end, the smallest person has to stand on this end and the tallest here, and I want you to be organized.
And nobody
Okay?
ever leaves the chairs.
Nobody leaves the chairs, and you watch out for each other. The rest is your problem.
You Picasso and they're bigger. انت مش لازم
14 is the last 15.
بس استنوا ان اول شيء اللي يجوا طيب يلا
I was very worried when I came to this camp if the issue of the teenagers in Middle East will be discussed here. Because what happened here is very serious matter about teenagers. In general, was a kind of a non-written agreement between Israel and the Palestinians not to kill children. It's true that sometimes happens that children are killed, but now happens something different. Teenagers were killed in advance by decision, and it's something that if we are in a group of teenagers, I think that is a very important matter to think about it.
So about Hebron. So when these 3 kids were kidnapped, the 3 settlers who were kidnapped, just imagine yourself living in Hebron right now, okay? They did a blockage on Hebron. They closed Hebron. You can't get in Hebron and you can't get out. More than 2,000 homes.
But who is they?
The Israeli soldiers. The Israeli
Made a
army.
blockage on Hebron.
Yes, yes. More than 2,000 homes were like searched, but searched, searched everywhere. Like let's say the Israeli army goes in, they stay in the home for hours. I'll tell you about my friend in Hebron. They went into his house. They turned everything, every single thing upside down. They talk to them, and they don't just go into your house and talk to you nicely. They go there. He studies in the U.S. They went to him. They're like, oh, you're studying in the U.S. Like they checked. They're like, we're not gonna let you come back. You're gonna study here. And they just sat in his house for hours. They sat there for hours after they searched the whole house. Like they just sat there, and he was like, you finished searching. Like you can leave now. They're like, no, we're gonna stay. We're gonna stay just to make you suffer. Like small things like this. Wait, I'm not done. And many houses were demolished. Imagine going to your house, wanting to see your house, and then seeing it being demolished. That's like one of the most traumatic things that can ever happen to a human being, seeing his house fall down. 10 people were killed, 10. And 4 out of them were children too. 4 Palestinian children. The day we left to this camp, there's a guy in where I used to live in Shafat, and my house was 1 minute next to him. And he died. He died going to a mosque, going to pray to a mosque. They killed him. And he's 16 years old. He was shot. He's 16 years old. Settlers took him and killed him. And burned him. They killed him. They kidnapped him. They killed him, and then they burned him. And other than that, life in Hebron was, and now after they found those kids dead, my brother, his friend, he went to where we hang out. He was beaten so hard. Now my parents, I wanted to go after a day. I couldn't go because there were settlers there all over the city, and every person who walks there and speaks in Arabic gets beaten to death. And I couldn't get out of my house because I was afraid to get beaten to death because of those settlers, because of those 3 kids. I understand. I'm not saying those three kids should have been dead. I never think any person should be dead. I don't. Even though they're settlers, even though they settle inside of Palestine, they went to a place that doesn't belong to them. I don't think they should have been killed. But I don't think that we teenagers deserve to suffer like this because of those 3 teenagers. We don't deserve to be afraid to leave our house. We don't deserve to see kids our age being killed because of those settlers. They said we're gonna kill until we don't kill 20 Palestinians, we're not gonna rest. Imagine the feeling that when I hear that, and when I see that 2 Palestinians after the kidnap, during the kidnaps, 8 Palestinians were killed, and after the kidnap, 2 were killed. Imagine the feeling I get when they say we're not gonna rest until we kill 20.
It's more interesting when it's me.
I have
You have 2. Okay.
What is your name?
My name is Ákos.
Ákos?
Yes.
It's a Hungarian name?
No, it's a Turkish name. It's
Turkish?
come from Turkish, but we use it in Hungarian. I don't know if it is in Turkish.
So
No.
you were born to a Turkish family?
No.
No,
Just the name.
because the Turkish language and the Hungarian language are similar, right? Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. So tell us about yourself.
Okay, it's me.
So
first
friends
of
and
all,
family is in
friends
your
and
heart.
family is more important than
Yes.
anything in my
Okay.
life. And I think a lot about my future. So I want to be an engineer, and I try to do anything for this. So I'm preparing for university, technical university. And sport is also really important. First of all, gym. So that's why I wrote diet also.
Diet.
Yes.
What science are you interested in?
Mathematics and physics.
So it links with engineering.
Yes.
You will look into the practical side of it rather than the research side of it, the intellectual side.
Both of them.
Both. Okay.
Maybe a bit more.
I see you're stubborn, so you go for both.
Yes.
Good.
Now, so this is Sumera, and you are part of her identity. Okay, you represent Sumera's identity, and Sumera, we are singing this for you. 1, 2, 3.
Woman.
Turkish. Turkish.
Learner.
Teach.
Learner.
Woman.
Asian.
Ottoman country.
Austrian.
Hungarian.
Austrian. Turkish.
Learner.
Turkish. Austrian. Austrian.
قولوا لأمه تفرح وتتهنى ترش الوسايد بالعطر والحنة ترش الوسايد بالعطر والحنة يا داري هنا وابنيها يا بنا والفرح إلنا والعرسان تتهنى والفرح إلنا والعرسان تتهنى
Cinege, cinege, de hes le róla, cinege, cinege, mert leszakad a teteje, teteje. Ha leszakad, mi lesz vélem, sárga lábú, cinege, cinege, de hes le róla, cinege, cinege, mert leszakad a teteje, teteje.
I think Turkish people, also the people from ex-Yugoslavia, they are a part of the society in Austria, and sometimes I think, for example, me, I'm of the third generation, so the generation which was born in Austria and can and go to school in Austria and can speak in German in Austria, and but sometimes I feel not so accepted. For example, in school, I'm a minority in my class, for example, and they think sometimes I think I have the impression that people from my class or from other classes think I'm stupid only because my mother tongue is not German, or I don't know. Yeah, and just to give an example, for example, the statistics showed us that a person who has another name than Austrian, so for example Ibrahim, he called Ibrahim, for example, when he would like to have a job, he must, or yeah, in the statistic shows us that this person applies 8 times more for a job than an Austrian person. So only because of his name, only he doesn't call Karl or Hans, yeah, only because of his name. But he can speak German perfectly. He is integrated. He don't lose his identity, but also is integrated. Sometimes, also, for example, I know a person who who is born here, and she can also speak good German and did a lot of workshops and projects, and but she has a scarf. She had a scarf, and she has a scarf, and when she did apply for a job, the three of the so she applied for a lot of jobs, and two of them said directly, no, we don't want you, and one of them said, yeah, you did at the telephone, yeah, you did a lot of workshops, you have a good CV, and but what you have on your head bothers me, for example. And that's very hard, I think. Only because you have a scarf, does it mean that you are not suitable for this job? Only because of scarf? Is it not important what you have in your head and not on your head?
We are having a mission. We are in the year 2054, and our scientists and computer engineers are developed so many technologies where the human race is so well developed technologically that we have the ability to produce a new human being.
So my idea is that this human being must be open for compromises, because I think that in every conflict there is at least 2 sides, and each of the sides have their own feelings, their own opinion, and they have to find a solution by compromises, by find a way which is good for each of the sides. So I think this is really important.
I think that the new human beings should have the ability to fight properly. So
Fight properly.
Yes, this is important because if we can't agree on something, we need to discuss, and this often leads to fighting. And it's not bad because we need to let out our feelings, but we need to stick to some rules to get to a compromise.
Caring.
Caring.
Caring is when someone cares for another, like he would want to be taken care of. And it's important for me because I like to help people in need. I think if everyone needs to feel cared for, and if that happens, nobody will harm anyone, and hopefully it will be a better environment for everybody.
I wrote, it's important to be able to laugh about ourselves.
To laugh or to love?
To laugh.
Laugh.
Yeah, about ourselves, because it's important to recognize mistakes like this and to recognize how stupid sometimes things seems and the absurd of the stories. It's healthier and it's make an easier way to live, and it means less frustration, less depressions, so you can achieve a better life where everything is better with a good laugh, and you can achieve also optimism, and yeah, that's all.
I wrote, it's important to love nature because so they won't destroy the nature, because trees are important for us because of the O2, and the planet will be prettier, and it's better for animals, and yeah, you don't destroy something you love, and the air will be cleaner, and it's better for the environment and the health, and so the humans will really live longer. Yeah.
No one can hear.
I choose friendly. A friendly person is someone who can easily communicate with others and can easily make friends. I think it's important to be friendly because to make other listen to what you want, to see you have to be nice and to treat other gentle, so we can live in peace.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת. אמן. יס. שבת שלום.
Shabbat Shalom.
How was the ride?
Long and long one. We can't wait Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
יום השישי ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם. ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה. וישבת ביום השביעי כל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת כל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן.
אמן.
I don't hate Jews, but let's say if I see a soldier and I don't see him as a human being. I mean, maybe his mother will see him as a human being. He is a human being and he has feelings and everything. But to me, because of how much we suffer because of these soldiers, when I see a soldier, I see a soldier. That's it. I don't see anything like except a soldier, because that's what he is for me.
And the second thing, I do understand what you're saying about seeing an Israeli soldier and then saying, okay, I cannot think of him as a human being. And I really, really hope that that will change, not because he is an Israeli soldier, but just for me, okay? 10 years ago, I don't even remember when, we had these attacks by the suicide bombers, and that was not very nice. But I can tell you what I felt. And what I felt is, I felt so frustrated, and because I said to myself, it's not enough that a number of people on the bus died, but the mother of this suicide bomber has lost her son. That was always in my mind, because suicide bomber or not, he was still somebody's son or daughter. With all the hurt and all the frustration and all the anger that it brought up in me, I can tell you, as a Jew and as someone living in Israel, that it always crossed my mind and my heart that the person who blew himself up was somebody's daughter, somebody's son, somebody's brother. I never forgot that for 1 minute. So if they announced on the news that there were 20 victims, let's say, I would always correct it in my mind and say 21. Okay?
I have to come back. I wanted to give up my right to speak, but I have to come back to it because it bothers me very much. When I hear somebody say collectively about a group, I do not consider this group as human beings. This sentence scares me to death. I can understand that you say, this person for me is not a human being because this person says, for instance, best to the Arabs, or this person is committing racist, discriminative, devaluating, unrespectful acts towards another person. I would give my hand to anybody who would go against that person, and I would say this person for me is not a human being. Whether this is an Arab or a Jew or a Turkish or a Chinese, whatever. But when somebody says, I consider a whole group of people that I don't know specifically not human, it scares me to death because it arouses in me terrible memories, terrible associations of dehumanization of a collective and of incitement of others to join in this dehumanization of a collective. And my heart now beats really as if I am under threat because I have heard this word here. Just wanted to tell.
So, someone said that that like when I dehumanize is scary, and that they're going to be in the army, and she wants to join, and some people wants to even join more, and that some people's here brothers and sisters are in the army, and so like I dehumanize the IDF as a whole, and when someone is wearing the army clothes, they represent the IDF, so that's why I dehumanize them. And when someone hears, like, this is my feelings, when someone here says, like, my sister is in the army, I picture that someone's sister now destroying a house in the neighborhood close to me, or checking someone at the checkpoint, or shooting Palestinians in Gaza or whatever. And when they say I'm going to join the army, that's what I picture you guys doing. That's what I picture myself going through a checkpoint and then seeing you guys stop me. That's what I picture, and that's why I dehumanize a soldier. And it's like me saying right now that when I grow up, I want to join Hamas. And when you hear that, you imagine me going to be a suicide bomber, to shoot someone and to do those things. You don't picture me cleaning the where Hamas are sitting, or giving food to people in Gaza. You don't picture doing that. You picture me being a suicide bomber and imagining me sitting here saying, when I grow up, I'm going to be a suicide bomber. That feeling you have, that's the feeling I get when you say, I'm going to join the army. And that's why I dehumanize a soldier. And I do. And when I'm going to see someone like stopping me at a checkpoint, or anyone, a soldier, it's a soldier for me. That's it. Like, it's a soldier now.
I just wanted to answer Sheila. I know that someday you're gonna be, any one of you, gonna be a soldier, because that's Allah. And someday you're gonna get an order to do, and you can't just say no.
Because I want to. We want to.
Yeah, no, not to be.
When I'm going to the army, I'm going to be proud in the army.
I'm saying
about an order.
I'm saying that you're gonna get an order
to go and do something.
Do something. And you can't say no. And it may be killing someone. It may be destroy a house. It may be checking
You don't know
someone.
nothing about the army.
We live the army. We live the army.
Okay.
Sure, you don't know it.
Yes, please explain about the army because I want to know what is it? I mean,
Maybe
we
let
don't know,
her
but
finish
Shira,
first.
I would-
What
I
you
would
say is
like-
a very
no,
small
no,
part of
no,
the army.
no,
Sorry.
All of
I
it.
want- please.
This is Paco.
Move. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. On the floor. No, 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 on the floor and keep moving.
لا شوي شوي.
On the floor, keep moving.
بعدين أعطيني إياه.
That's how you do it. You don't just print it. Actually, with all of Looking good here. Everybody who's finished has their little paper.
Guys, we're going to be a little harder on you now. Really, no touching the rope from now on. If we see you, we'll tell you, no discussing, just get out, okay?
אבל תשאיר לנו את הקטעים שלנו. אבל תתקרבו להראות לי את העטיפה והכל. תתקרבו כי אני לא יכולה להתרחק מהעץ, אני מאבדת סיבובי משקל. רגע, בואי נשים כזה עוד לא. אוקיי, כן. Now do the focus on the... הם צגנו אותנו. טוב. כן. עכשיו עוד אחד פה. אוקיי.
نتا يتأكدين هذا إلهام؟
بتجيبي لنا اياه
لا لا عود عود.
Go! Very well. Next group. No, 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 no. Just get out of the way and watch the others. No, 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 come on. Oh!
It will survive. It will survive. It's a good.
Oh! Were you aiming for me?
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. Next one.
It's good, no? Bring it. It's good, Akush.
I'm not a dog. It's okay. Next one.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll leave a little bit over there. Dink. Wait up here. No, I'll get it for you.
Lucas, our sitcom.
Your sitcom. I know.
Guys, we
Yes.
need to help the others.
Everybody gets up there.
What on earth did you not get? It is not a thing where one person wins.
Okay, everybody wants.
Everybody loses. Or everybody wins.
Hey guys, you paralyzed guys, just talk to me.
Oh, yes, everyone is fair. Let's talk to us. The paralyzed people don't move their legs.
No, moving your legs.
I have a very, very naive answer to that. I'm sorry that after 54 years of walking this earth, I'm still that naive. But I think that talking for the Israelis, for the Jews and the Arabs, I think it would be a good place to start to admit to each other that we actually like each other and that we cannot see the place where we live without the other side. And I've said it on several occasions already. I cannot imagine our country without the Arabs. And I think I've heard here and there Arabs say, I cannot imagine our country without the Jews. And I think that if we start there, we cannot listen, we cannot accept a sentence like death to the Arabs or death to the Jews anymore, because we like each other too much. And I've heard it so many times already in this peace camp, that my students came to me and said, you know, Liz, with all the conflicts, well, the group that we feel closest to are the Arabs. And they fight, but they feel closest to them. Why? Because they share so many things. They share the weather, they share the food, right, guys? The languages, I should say. Unfortunately, also the news, which neither of us likes. We share, when we discuss a certain stand-up, right? We both, with a certain show, I think that Dean can explain better than I, because he knows what I'm talking about. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But when they talk about it among each other, this Arab and this Jew, they know exactly what they're talking about, and they laugh about the same things. So maybe we just should openly say, guys, we like you, and we wouldn't want you to leave. And I think that if we start there, we might be able to continue and work out our problems.
And I want to reassure you, it doesn't kill me to cry a few tears. I'm speaking maybe also for others. We are sometimes so afraid to touch upon things that make us cry or that hurt. And I think that we are all so strong in this group. You are so strong, and we together are strong. So let's not avoid a few tears that need to be cried. There is a war in your country, fuck, and there is good reason to cry. And we have, I think that we cannot go away from here back home without having addressed it, or without having thought about how we can do it. We have to protect one another. I agree with Rawan. Thank you, I feel the same. But how? And how can we avoid, how can you avoid letting yourself be abused and misled, incited to hatred, when we can see here that you can live together in friendship and in mutual care, and bring water to the one who has tears or sadness and protect them. And what of this you can take home to your countries? And I don't want to miss this chance. Excuse me if I'm very emotional, but this is why I bring you here. And I'm really sorry. No, I'm okay. I'm okay when I'm crying. It's okay. I'm sorry, but I'm okay when I'm crying.
Peacecamp is over, but you're not going home like this. You should know that you've learned a lot, that you listened to the others, and it gave you a lot of new insight to what confrontation means, conflict means, and friendship means. And when you go home, you will have a mission. You will have a mission to transport the way of thinking, the way of peace, the way you think of peace, and the way you want to promote peace. You were here, and the mission is go home, talk to your families, talk to your friends, talk to the people in your school, and tell them what you've learned. This is a mission. And every single one of you did a very good job, and each one is now named an ambassador of peace, because you're conveying the idea of peace to the outer world, to where you are, where you live, and to your surrounding. And each one of you will get now a certificate, an official certificate, in which you will be called Ambassador of Peace. And this is for you, for this mission, to always think what you did here and what you will do in the future. And this certificate also has a second meaning for you. because one day you might apply for a job or for a study, and then you can show, I was present in an international project, okay? And this is Musa Adam Abu Dalu. Lila Badge.